Good, everyone? Welcome to the channel. As you can tell by the name, Asset Chasers. So basically, what the channel is about is the commodities market, mainly the stock market. So here is where we're looking to catch the best, or if not, some good asset that provide some good returns on our investment, of course. And so mainly what the channel is going to be focused on initially is I will be analyzing stock charts and some crypto as well. As you can see here, we got Bitcoin. And then I also analyze some of the financials, such as like looking at the balance sheet for you guys. But to start off, of course, Bitcoin doesn't have a balance sheet, so we're just gonna go based off of the chart. And you may ask why we're doing Bitcoin first. Well, we're in a crypto bull run, and everyone is talking about it, or at least starting to talk about it again. And a lot of people want to know, hey, should I buy, sell, hold, So hopefully I can provide you some good information that you could reference. Um, I'm not a I'm not a financial advisor, of course, but I'll explain my ideas here in these videos, and you guys can choose what to do with it. Whether you know how to recharge yourself and you just want to see, hey, maybe somebody else had the same idea, maybe a different idea, something you didn't see, didn't catch on the charts, or somebody that doesn't know how to read charts at all, and you're just in profit, and you're going, hey, should I take profits? Should I sell completely? Should I hold? Like I said. So hopefully I provide some good information here for you guys. So for starters, um, these are fair value gaps, FEGs. And as you can tell, I use them as supports. Sometimes there could be used that for resistance if they're bearish FEGs. Um, I'll make another video going more in depth into what these are, how they work, how to use them, or at least how I use them. And yeah, let's get the ball rolling here. Bear with me a little bit. This is the first video on the channel. I'm pretty new to YouTube, so you know, video might be a little slow, maybe, or maybe not as entertaining, but as we progress, we'll get the ball rolling here. And then also later on, once we get the channel, rolling here, getting some views, getting some subscribers, um, I'll do surveys as well, maybe weekly or so, where I analyze whatever um, stock of a company you guys vote on. So you guys can choose, hey, the majority of, the voters um, want to know what you think about Robinhood or, for example, or whatnot. So yeah. So for starters here, like I said, if you can tell on the monthly chart, I use FEGs a lot because they tend to hold a lot of power to them. Yes, it can get violated. It's not a, hey, it's guaranteed. Like as you can tell on this side, we had an FEG here, FEG here, and they got violated pretty easily. So it does happen, but for the main part, they tend to work pretty well, especially if you're in an uptrend or downtrend. They'll hold really well. So basically, what an FEG is when there's three candles and there's space in between, like here, this candle and this candle, there's a space between created by the middle candle like this. That's an FEG. So we had support here at this one and this one for the monthly, right? So we'll break it down next to the weekly time frame. And basically, if you don't know candlesticks, the time frame you're in is what tells you what the worth of the candle is, basically. So, like the time frame, the time of the candle. So this candle is 1 week. So each candle on this chart is 1 week. Each candle on this chart is 1 month. Each candle on this chart is 1 day, etc. You get the idea. So now let's get started here. So what I'm seeing here with Bitcoin is we have a similar formation we did last bull run, right? The 2020 bull run. As you can see here, let's compare them. So we had a top created, we got a retracement down into a discount zone. So this right here is what I'm using here is a Fibonacci. Basically, it creates a trading range, give you an idea of what to base your trade off, right? So like this would actually be pulled here. I kind of changed it after I was just charting a couple different ideas here. So check this out. So basically, how this would work is here. Here's your trading range during the first leg up. Came back down into the discount zone. So basically, this gray zone is discount, which is where you want to be buying if you're going long. And then this red zone right here is premium. So this isn't where you want to be buying. So as you can see, it came down, respected this monthly FEG, and then popped back up. And then it created a bearish SMT. Bull run was over, right? So what I'm seeing is a similar formation over here. You know, we had this long leg up, created a top, came back down. This is our trading range. And you may ask what this other trading range here is. This is the same thing as a Fibonacci, but this is what I call a golden pocket. It's technically the same thing, but it gives you these little extra levels just to kind of go based off of maybe I want to enter here, here, here. Just kind of depends how you want to use it personally. And it also gives you an idea of like, hey, if it hits here and I get in here, well, I'm making a lot more return on my investment or my trade than I would be buying here or even at the equilibrium. So this range was pulled on the daily. The other range was pulled on the weekly, of course. Look at here. So for my idea of this trade, for my idea of what Bitcoin is doing right now, is we had this same retracement and look, we popped back up, created a bearish SMT. So this SMT is called the Smart Money tool. Um, I use it a little differently than how other traders may use it. Mainly index traders. They use it a lot to basically it's a divergence. So like if you're trading the Nasdaq or the S&P 500, sometimes they'll have a divergence in between them. So mainly that's what a lot of traders use SMTs for. What I use it for is actually my SMTs are based off RSI. So yes, I use RSI and I also use EMAs, but I use it a little bit different because a lot of people say, oh, RSI, it's a lagging indicator. You can't use it to trade. Well, yeah, it is a lagging indicator, but I don't use it to tell me, hey, get in this trade, get out this trade. I use it more as it tells me where the market is, and sometimes RSI creates a pattern that if you compare it to the chart, you may get a good idea of what could happen in the near future. So another reason why so technically what I'm trying to say here is I'm a little bearish right now on Bitcoin, especially if we hold this level. So why is that? So last time, as you can see here, we created this high. On our side, we hit a very high oversold level. So anything over this line is oversold, or even touching this line is oversold. Then you have your equilibrium here, and then you have overbought, sorry. So anything above here or in this area is overbought. This is at 50%. So it's kind of you're buying at not at a good deal, but you're buying, eh, you're buying at a fair price, but just not at discount. And once you buy over here, this is oversold. So this is when people are, overselling an asset. Sometimes you want to be buying here. So if you compare here, so we got RSI, right? The highest point of the RSI was in this area. Then it went higher to this area. And on the daily, they could have probably found it like a bear system T here, but that's not what we're looking for right now. We're looking at this. So created this high, right? And then created this high on the actual chart itself, came back down, it created a low here, here. Came back up, it went higher than the last high, so we created a higher high. But look at the RSI. It failed to go higher than this one. And then we came down and we created a higher low. So, a lot of people were thinking, a lot of people probably got ate up here because they're looking at this and they go, okay, high, low, higher high. And then we have another low here actually. So a low, basically, I like to use three candles. So one, two, three. And the middle one, of course, is going to be the lowest point. Or if you're doing a high, you want the middle candle to be the high point of the three candles. But anyways, so we created a low here. So this was a low, created a high up here. I'll use this as a complete high actually, just because this is more accumulation. But this was the high point of this area. Came back down, created a higher low, created a low here, and then came back up here. This probably got a couple people here too, but we'll just forget about this area right now. Created a higher high, came back down, right? And created a higher low. So a lot of people, like I said, they got it up here because they're looking at this. They're going, okay, well, it failed to displace lower. So that means we're gonna get another leg up higher. That's probably what they were expecting. But if you compare it to the RSI here, it created a lower high. So this low here created a lower low on the RSI. So the RSI is in a downtrend. Meanwhile, the price action over here is in an uptrend, right? As you see, it's kind of like in the trend. Check that out. And then finally, it fails to displace higher and it just drops, goes in complete bear market. Now, if we look at this time around, same thing is going on here. Look at the RSI, downtrend on the RSI. Right, right there. But we have an uptrend on the price action. Look at this. They created a high here, came back down, retraced into the monthly FEG, held support, popped back up higher. The RSI failed to create a higher high. Came back down, created a lower, higher low, popped back up, took the highs, but look at the RSI. Like I said, it's creating a point. It's creating a high here. Now, if this holds, because it could just retrace into here, so we have these weekly FEGs, right? We have this one and this one. So if we retrace here, we could hold support. We could hold support here as well. I pulled this as a trading range just to kind of reference it. And of course, we can hold around here and just shoot back up, right? Continue the bull market even farther. But based off history here, it seems like it's repeating itself all over again, right? Plus, we're in a very over we're very high up in Bitcoin, right? So technically, the bull run started down here. A lot of people are on uh, YouTube, social media are talking about, oh, this was a disappointing bull run, but why is it a disappointing bull run? Look, we've been running up since the end of 23 or 22. So the beginning of 23, we've been running up. We continued this bull run until 24, and then it's already 2025, and we still um, are expanding. Now, the only thing that's a reason I'm kind of skeptical about this right here. My idea is last time this happened, we were in a administration and on a time when Bitcoin wasn't accepted as much, right? So we didn't even have the Bitcoin ETF, which is IBIT from BlackRock. And I know we have other Bitcoin ETFs and a lot of other corporations that are adopting Bitcoin. So now, could that change? It could, right? So this could create just a fake out, a fake bearish S&T in between the RSI and the price action, and it can just pop back and go higher. But I'm pretty strong. I have a pretty strong stance that we're going into a bearish time for Bitcoin and crypto in general now. And let's break it down to the daily. Thing. Codes. Come on, man. There we go. So it started coming down already. As you can see, we created a daily FEG here, and it's holding. So it's creating this form of resistance here. And this is what I want to see, right? So after we analyze the weekly time frame, now I'm analyzing the daily, and I want this daily to hold. I want it to keep coming down. And also another thing is we're pretty high up in this bull run, and the RSI basically tells you if an asset, like I said, is overbought or oversold. What I can see, what I see that needs to happen is this RSI trend needs to get reset, just like it did here, right? It got exhausted and it finally had to hit the oversold area. So I want the same thing to happen here. I want this to come down all the way to the oversold, reset, and then we pop back up. So what could happen there? So we move to the daily. So another thing I use are standard deviations, right? So I pull them, it's kind of like a point basically. So like the swing high. So if I'm looking to go bearish, I pull it from the swing, the beginning of the swing to the high point of the move. So kind of like a manipulation leg. So this is a swing, the end of the swing high. Starts here with this bullish candle. I don't use this bearish candle. So right now what I'm looking at is here. The lowest we come is 69,000, just about. And as you can see, the deviations for the main part are pretty accurate. They could fail, and by fail, I mean it could go lower. So it's not an end all be all. It's just kind of like a reference of like where price could go, get an idea of where to take profits. And normally I like to take profits at 2 and 2.5 and leave some runners to run all the way to these price targets. And as you can see last time, I pulled it here as well. And look how accurate it was. Pretty darn accurate. It went slightly lower. Like I said, it's not an end all be all, came down another 5 grand. What I like to have happen here, honestly, is I could see price action actually coming down to the monthly FEG, the initial, the first one I held at instead of this one. And a lot of people that went long here, they put their stops around this area, or maybe they got in here and they put it in the profit, their stop losses. So it'd be a good way to, take those people out of here, take their money, take their liquidity, hold right here for resistance and pop back up. And that would match perfectly with the weekly RSI for it to get reset. So that's my idea right now on Bitcoin. Um, if my idea changes, I'll most likely upload another video, kind of, updating or I'll upload another video just updating you guys in general, if the move continues down. It's it's kind of my thought process is going on here. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, share the video, help the channel grow a little bit here. And so like that, I could keep uploading all these videos. I got a lot of content, a lot of stuff I could teach you guys for people that are beginning to chart. I could show you guys how to use these. I'll be uploading a lot of videos here. That is, it's gonna have pretty good information. And then I'll upload other things I'm looking at as well. And like I said, once I get the ball rolling here, we'll do surveys. And like I said, I'll chart and analyze companies and stuff and charts that you guys prefer me to analyze instead of whatever I'm looking at. That being said, this probably be the end of this video. I'll probably make a video also going over how the move I caught here with Bitcoin for this trade, and also the trade and then also what I'm doing for my take profit, or I'm kind of hedging against my position, so it's I didn't exactly sell out of it, but I'll upload another video going over the trade. All right, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.